we're now going to talk about packaging. So after you list an item on Amazon and you go through the telling Amazon what packages you're sending, you actually have to package the products. And I'm not going to lie, this is probably the most frustrating part of the FBA business, because I enjoy going out and shopping. I definitely enjoy getting checks from Amazon, but packaging sometimes is kind of a pain. But as long as you know the rules and you know some tricks, it gets a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get started. First, you're going to want to know the rules. I'm going to tell you some of the rules, but I suggest, and I highly suggest, you go onto Amazon and understand everything there is to know about packing. If you follow my guidelines, you'll be okay, but I still think it's good to know as much as you can about this step in the process. So what you need to package your products, and these are the basics. First, you're going to need boxes. Boxes can be expensive and they can cut into your profit margin. So I check freecycle.org and I get my boxes from them and get a variety of sizes. You're going to need some small boxes, you're going to need some large boxes, but get as many as you can. You're going to need packaging tape, and I suggest you get the packaging tape that comes on the roller. It just makes your life so much easier. You're going to need scissors. I suggest getting some bubble wrap, but Amazon doesn't want any foam balls or styrofoam pellets or anything like that. So steer clear of that. You can wrap in paper, but I would stick to something like bubble wrap. You're going to need a printer because you're going to have to print the labels for your items. And then some of the labels that I used Avery labels 5160 and then Avery labels 5163 and 5481 for groceries and bundles. And I'll get into that here in a minute. So the first thing you're going to want to do, here's an item that I sold. It's a Sony voice recorder. And you can see it retails for about $141. I got it for $60. It was a no-brainer. Sold like 6 of them. But anyways, what you want to do is you want to tear off all those stickers. You don't want to send these out and have people across the country know what you're paying for items. So make sure those are torn off. The second thing you're going to want to do is here's a before and after shot of the Sony recorder. On the left-hand side, you'll see those are all the barcodes that were on the back of the product. And you want to make sure you cover those up. It just makes everything much easier when the warehouses are scanning the items. So the only barcode that you want to be visible is the actual barcode that you printed off when you were printing out your labels. So on the right hand side, you can see I just took 2 blank labels and put them on to cover that one barcode. And then I took the label that I printed off, that's my barcode, and put it over the other part of it there. And I suggest you do that with every item. Don't let any barcodes be seen. And then you're ready to send that item. Now, grocery requirements are a little different. A lot of things you're going to have to poly wrap if you're selling in a bundle. Any products that spill, like mustard or ketchup, you got to poly wrap. Or if you're selling multiples, you have to poly wrap. You have to put the expiration dates on the outside of that poly wrap. And you also have to have suffocation warnings on there and Amazon barcodes. So let me show you those real quick. The first thing I suggest getting is stretch wrap or poly bags. I use stretch wrap. I find it pretty easy to use. I know a lot of people like poly bags. It's just an added expense, a little more money. It does make everything a little easier though. But with this, all you do is if you have 3 of something, put the 3 together, wrap this stretch wrap around, and you're good to go. Now, after you have the stretch wrap on, or you have these things or you have everything bundled up, you need to put suffocation warnings on anything that has a poly bag or a stretch wrap. Some poly bags come with this, but some don't. So if you need to, what you can do is I go to a website called warninglabelgenerator.com, and I created this myself. It says, keep away from small children. The thin film may cling to nose and mouth and prevent breathing. I use Avery's 5163 to create these warning labels, and you just have to put those on anything that you poly buy that doesn't have a label warning or anything that you stretch wrap. And the other thing you need to do is you need to put the expiration dates on any food that expires. It must be in 30 font. And then again, you're going to have to put on the barcode that you printed off earlier. If you're selling a bundle, you need to put this on here. This is a set, do not separate. And I use Avery 5481. And what this does is it just tells Amazon not to separate the item because you're selling it as a set. After you get everything packaged the way you want it, you're basically ready to put it in the box and send it out. So as you remember from our earlier lesson, Amazon tells you what items go in what box and where to send them. So in this case, I think I was selling one voice recorder, some coffee, frozen thing, and a razor. And after they have all the stickers on them, you're ready to go. So put the products in the box, make sure they fit pretty snugly. You don't want them rolling around and ruining any of your products. Remember, don't use foam balls or styrofoam pellets or anything like that. And be sure that the products aren't going to break. And that's just an example of a box that I created not too long ago. Then what you want to do is you just want to add a label to the box and ensure that the barcodes are not going to be cut when the warehouse opens them. So you can see along the middle there, if they slice it right there, the barcodes on either side are still going to be intact. That's important because if they tear that, you're going to have some trouble with your products. And then after that, send your boxes to Amazon and get ready to start making some money.